In January 1976, Zhou Enlai dies from cancer. Zhou had received an early diagnosis, but Mao had personally intervened to delay potentially life-saving treatment. Such was his determination to outlive his political rival. As Chinese premier since 1949, Zhou was one of the key architects of Communist China. President Nixon had called him the greatest statesman of our era. And as a skilled diplomat and stabilizing force, he'd shaped foreign policy and helped to modernize the country. But his attempts to moderate Mao's mistakes had only limited success. His legacy is inescapably entwined with the disasters of Mao-era China. But Zhou remains hugely popular, and on the 4th of April, crowds gather in Tiananmen Square to mourn his death and protest against the attacks made on him by the Gang of Four. The following day, the army is sent in to clear the square, with around 40 arrests. Zhou's ally, Deng Xiaoping, is blamed for the disturbance and dismissed once again. Amidst rising tensions at the top of the party, Mao Zedong, plagued by heart and lung problems for years, dies aged 82. Many millions of Chinese have known no leader but Mao. The country is in shock. A week of national mourning is declared. Over 7 days, 1 million visitors file past Mao's body as he lies in state in the Great Hall of the People in Tiananmen Square. The people are urged to turn grief into strength, carry forward Chairman Mao's legacy, and see the proletarian revolutionary cause through to the end. To most Chinese, Mao is and remains the great helmsman, a titanic figure who guided China through stormy seas to security and prosperity. But his successes were matched by disastrous failures. His agricultural reforms, motivated by pure ideology, triggered the largest man-made famine in history. Tens of millions died as a result. The Cultural Revolution saw suffering inflicted on many thousands of innocent victims. Mao's rule has left Chinese society highly regimented and riven with distrust, a place where any dissent is quickly and ruthlessly suppressed. In the words of veteran communist Chen Yun, had Mao died in 1956, his achievements would have been immortal. Had he died in 1966, he would still have been a great man, but flawed. But he died in 1976. Alas, what can one say? The Chinese Communist Party is now deeply split, between those loyal to Mao and his legacy and those who oppose the brutality of the Cultural Revolution. Mao's designated successor is Hua Guofeng. He is an able, if uninspiring, party official, but lacks prestige and personal authority. Officially, his mantra is clear. Whatever policy Chairman Mao decided upon, we shall resolutely defend. Whatever directives Chairman Mao issued, we shall steadfastly obey. In practice, he pulls off a delicate balancing act between honouring Mao's legacy and modernization. His first task is to deal with the Gang of Four, led by Mao's widow, Jiang Qing. For many, they embody the worst excesses of Mao's rule. After the period of national mourning comes to an end, Hua moves against them. On the 6th of October 1976, the Gang of Four are arrested. They are accused of orchestrating the chaos and violence of the Cultural Revolution. In a televised trial, Jiang Qing defends herself passionately. But all four are found guilty of counter-revolutionary activities. Jiang Qing and Zheng Chenxiao are sentenced to death. Their sentences are later commuted to life imprisonment. In 1991, Jiang takes her own life in prison, a Mao loyalist to the end. With blame for past mistakes pinned on the Gang of Four, Mao's status as the great helmsman can remain unquestioned and inviolable. But it is clear that in Communist China, a new era is beginning. The Gang of Four had represented one extreme of the Chinese Communist Party: the Mao loyalists. If one figure represents the opposite wing of the party, it's Deng Xiaoping. Now aged 72, Deng's fortunes within the party have fluctuated wildly. In the 1930s, he'd supported Mao in the rural Soviets and the struggles against the Kuomintang. He'd become a willing enforcer of the brutal anti-rightist campaigns of the 1950s, an economic reformer in the 1960s, then a sudden and dramatic fall from favour at the height of the Cultural Revolution. Deng is now seen as a natural leader, a talent too great for the party to ignore. In July 1977, Hua Guofeng rehabilitates Deng for a second time, appointing him vice chairman of the Communist Party. From now on, all the momentum is with the reformers. Deng is acutely aware that China is in a disastrous state, weakened by Mao's Great Leap Forward and the Cultural Revolution. The average income of a Chinese peasant, still 80% of the population, is just $40 a year. Because of the Cultural Revolution, crucial positions across the country are held by unqualified military officials and Mao loyalists. Universities have been shuttered for a decade. Thousands of educated people and party officials have been exiled to the countryside to perform menial labour. Infrastructure and industry are in a state of neglect and disrepair. Deng believes the solution must be radical reform. He will deviate from decades of Maoist ideology and advocate openness to new ideas and technologies, wherever they come from. Students and officials are encouraged to spend time abroad. The goal will be the 4 modernizations introduced by Zhou Enlai in agriculture, industry, science, and defense. Deng steadily increases his power and support within the party. By late 1978, he is officially the 3rd most senior member of the Politburo. But in reality, Deng is calling the shots. Deng Xiaoping is finally free to enact the reforms he believes China desperately needs. The consequence will be a transformation unprecedented in history. If you love history as much as we do, you've probably collected some interesting memorabilia over the years. Perhaps it's hidden in a box or sitting on a shelf somewhere. But how about owning a true piece of history that you can wear on your wrist? Today's video sponsor, REC Watches, can make this a reality. Take their new Habu series, celebrating the SR-71 Blackbird, legendary Cold War spy plane and fastest aircraft in the world. Not only is the watch design inspired by the Blackbird's engineering and aesthetics, each timepiece contains titanium from the actual aircraft's engine nacelle exhaust ejectors. These turkey feathers once managed supersonic afterburners at Mach 3. Now they form the Habu's lower dial. Or imagine wearing a watch infused with the spirit of Steve McQueen's Triumph T6 motorcycle, Ayrton Senna's Lotus F1 car, or the famous Supermarine Spitfire. Most watches simply mark time. REC Watches capture history. The company was founded in 2014 to craft bespoke timepieces from legendary machines, transforming the past into a wearable time capsule. Their materials come from historic and nearly impossible to find parts, sourced with great care and respect for their provenance. And Epic History viewers can get an exclusive discount. Head to recwatches.com and use the coupon code EPICHISTORY at checkout to receive 10% off any item, including pre-orders. Unique designs such as the Habu series are limited editions, so move fast to avoid disappointment. Thanks to REC Watches for sponsoring our video. Big thanks to our series historical consultant, Dr. Lily Chang of University College London. And thanks as always to the Patreon supporters who helped to make this channel possible. From builders such as Ulysses Gutierrez, Colin Legrand and Loyal Piper, to citizens like Martin Alvaritza, Blair Bunk and Ijatum 2, and heroes like Thomas Griffin. And now you can also support the channel by joining the ranks of the Grognards, our valued YouTube members who gain access to loyalty badges, custom emojis and merch discounts. Click the membership link on our channel page to sign up now.